I've recently picked myself up a BMW 1 Series 2012, which is the F20 model, and as we can see, this does have the upgraded screen. So normally it has come with a smaller, kind of like a 6.5 inch screen. This has got the upgraded one. However, this does not have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, which, let's face it, we've come accustomed to. Yes, the current screen does have maps, but I just like that connectivity and the flexibility of just using my phone and just getting directions via that way. And that brings us nicely onto today's sponsors of the video, which is AUTOABC. They have kindly sent me their 10.25 inch screen for the BMW 1 Series. As soon as you open the box, the first thing you're coming to is this huge screen. Now for a quick comparison, remember this is the upgraded version already, and just look how much bigger. Ah, yes. User manual, a kind of backing faceplate just to tidy it off, and then two sets of wires. The smaller one, that's just going to be your normal USB connectors, and then this is going to power everything. To make my life a little bit easier as well, I've picked up an 8-pack fastener removal kit, so I can just pry off all those trims rather than just using my fingers to pull them off. First we need to do then is pop off this top plate below the screen itself. We do have a few connectors we're going to disconnect, so this whole faceplate is going to come out completely. So this smaller one is actually the hazard light. Next we've got to remove 4 T20s, 2 being the 2 here holding up in the second plate, and then the other 2 being just underneath the screen holding the screen in place. Again, we're going to pop out this bottom face. All the other videos, that one just pops out of that face. Struggling in a minute, so I'm just going to move on to the other 4 T20s, which is going to be on the kind of the CD host, which is 2 at the top and then 2 underneath it. Screen pops out with just one at the top, and now the CD faceplate can come out as well. Now just going to disconnect everything at the back of the face. Don't worry, they are all colour coded. So eventually I've connected everything together. Well, that's been provided, so I'm now going to connect the wires back to the CD host and then connect the screen. So find the tiniest screwdriver you can and install the 2 screws with this plate onto the back of the screen. Now simply going to connect the white cable to the white area and then the pink to the pink. And that is seated perfectly so far. Now let's give it a little test run. Okay, positive so far. The screen has turned on. So I'm happy, so far everything looks like it's working. I'm going to connect everything back up and reinstall everything, and then I'll get on to connecting the phone. Remember, 2 T20s at the top holding the screen in. I recommend if you've got a drill, hand drill, just use that, much easier. The screen is now in place, so I'm going to put this back in and then kind of go from back to front. So we are almost there. Host is back in, screwed in. This little plate is just pushed in place. Now we're going to put this in with 2 screws, and then lastly the air vent plate that goes up there. Then we will set up the screen. so far it all looks. Oh, silly Billy. Gone and trapped the 2 wires that connect to the air vent. There we go. Make sure those are sticking out. And do this back up again. Hazards are working, I can see them on both the mirrors and on the dash. And then the door unlock and lock button's working. Perfecto. So the last thing to do now is connect my phone. I do have an iPhone 13 Pro. Now, if I'd wanted, I could have connected this cable, which is the USB cable, but I don't need it. So I didn't connect it. If you wanted to connect it, that goes straight into the back of the screen, and then you'd have to feed it through into the glove box or somewhere where it could stick out and you could use it. So this is the screen when it starts up. You've got OEM car info, which is going to be your standard car screen that you normally see. CarPlay, Android Auto, and DVR. I don't have any cameras on the car, so I'm going to want DVR. Got an iPhone, so we're going to go CarPlay. On the screen, it tells you can go for the wired connection or the wireless connection. I'm going to go wireless. So I'm going to go on to my Bluetooth, scroll down, and it says I should look for a Bluetooth name called car something. There we go, car BT659C. Code on the screen, pair as always. I'm going to allow it to have my contacts. Use CarPlay. And there we go. As simple as that. Phone is now connected. And as you can see, a massive clear screen. And it's got your usual apps that you can have on, obviously, CarPlay. The touch sensitivity is really responsive. There's no latency, which is nice to see. Now, let's check out the music, make sure audio is still working. And there you go, everything is working. Not going to play too much because of YouTube. They don't like it when you play someone else's songs. But yeah, so everything that you would expect from an Apple CarPlay. Now, if you want to go back to your original kind of car screen, what you're going to do is you're going to push the bottom left. What you're going to do is going to push the car home, which is in the bottom left corner, and then the OEM car info. So this is now your standard screen that you would expect to see. And as you can see, the little jog dial in the center of the console still works. That is the old maps navigation that I had in the car. So as you can tell, a massive difference between obviously Apple CarPlay and what there was. So yeah, everything is working exactly the same. I can still see my navigation on the screen in front of the steering wheel if I wanted, but obviously 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to need this screen. The only time I may need this one is for things like vehicle information, because obviously that's how you can check your oil levels and things like that. So I'm on this screen. I want to go back to Apple CarPlay. I'm going to push and hold the center menu button, and it's going to bring me back to this screen. Touch CarPlay, and then we're good to go. So let's check it now. Pretend I've got out of the car, moved away, and then I want to see if the phone connects to it automatically. And there we go, straight in. Hey Siri, send Zoe a message. Do you still need me to pick you up?
Sending.
So that is actually one of the good things, is before it did have Siri capability on the old system, but it would set up like a phone call from me to Siri to then send the message, whereas this just works like Siri on any other Apple CarPlay. Don't forget, I am not a mechanic. I am not very technically minded when it comes to the cars. I hate playing with them. But overall, I'd give that probably a 7.5 out of 10 out of difficulty, just because some of the wiring was a little bit tight and it wasn't the easiest to get to. That wasn't the unit's fault, that was more the car and myself. And as you can tell, it is raining outside. Gotta love UK in the summer. This has taken me probably an hour and a half tops, and don't forget I'm filming as well, so there's a lot of faffing sorting that out. So for an hour and a half of faff to get Apple CarPlay and a massive screen like this in the car, that's 2012 as well, it's perfect. So if you do want to get yourself one of these units, description box below, I will leave a link there, and there will be a discount code next to it as well. So if you want to grab yourself one of these, head on over there and pick yourself one up. For me nowadays, having Apple CarPlay and Android Auto in your vehicle it's something you come to expect and you come to use every single day and like. So when you get a car that doesn't have it, for me, this was definitely a needed upgrade. Don't forget, if you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. More importantly, subscribe to the channel. A little bit random, a little bit different for the usual, but yeah, until the next one, ride safe.